Welcome back. We got another week of the Walkoff Mariners podcast. We have got an exciting week to discuss too. I'm here joined with Juan Forno. My name Jordi Bots. We are going to discuss Seattle Mariners baseball, starting off with Monday. The Angels series kicked it off with a loss, which is not what you want to do against the Angels. And it wasn't a very good loss. You want to lead the way in discussing that one and kind of what happened? What was the big embarrassing moment at the end of the game?
Yeah, the whole game was dog shit in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little bit more sensitive towards that loss because last week, my big bet of the week was Monday's game with Gilbert going against the Angels. Yeah, it shouldn't have been a loss. It shouldn't have even been close, to be honest with you. But it was. The Mariners had an opportunity in the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, nobody out, and they could not capitalize and just push one run across the board to win the game. And that just can't happen. You know, when you
And
get a team like that, no Ohtani, no Trout, it's basically a AAA team at this point of the season. Um, Championship teams win that game.
and
End of
the
story.
frustrating thing for me too is it's not like we were up against an elite reliever in that situation. It was Aaron Loop. You've
Yeah,
got the bases loaded with Aaron Loop on the mound, tie game, finish it right there.
you just have
Bring
to
it
hit a
back to
fly
the
ball
game.
to left field.
Yeah,
You
no,
just
it's
have to hit a fly
easy
ball to left
easy
field.
way to score. You don't need a home run. You just need to bring in one guy across the plate, and they couldn't pull that off.
Yeah, not a great showing. That was definitely like the one loss of the week. It's not great that they got swept by the Dodgers. With that being said, for the most part, they were competitive, and at least that's one of the better teams in the MLB. The Angels lost hurts. Luckily, they corrected the ship and got two out of three, so at least it ended up right. But even like Wednesday's game, watching Wednesday's day game, man, I think it was 5-4 if I'm not mistaken. It felt like playoff baseball atmosphere, and it really shouldn't have, in my opinion, when you're playing that Angels team where they are right now. And like the vibes around the Angels team is so garbage that teams need to just be stepping on their throat and let them know where they fall in the MLB hierarchy right now because I bash the Angels more than any organization. I hate them so much. And it's not even like the team or the players, it's just the whole organization as a whole, what they are doing and how they're operating. I hate on a
Just an absolute implosion right now.
catastrophic level.
There's no good vibes in the clubhouse. There's no good
Zero
vibes
good
in the
vibes.
dugout. Everyone's all pissy. Their two best players are now probably done for the year. Mike Trout thinks he wants to come back. I see no
No,
world in
no,
which they bring him back, especially
no.
now because there's the discussion he might get moved this offseason.
Yeah, he's got to go. And like to sum up how much of a joke this organization is, during the Mariners series, they had a player, and I wish I would have taken down his name, on the MLB roster that they drafted this year.
Yeah, yeah,
This
no,
year.
they had
A dude
they
that they
did
drafted
that.
in June.
They did that last year too.
Like, how bad does your organization have to be that you're like, fuck it, this kid has no professional baseball experience whatsoever. Let's send him to the big leagues. Like,
Yeah,
that's just insane.
and it's not like he forced their hand. He didn't play his
No.
way on the roster. They were just like, yeah, well, whatever. Who cares?
What else are we gonna? It's a
It's
joke of an
the worst
organization.
that could happen.
Anyways, it's not an Angels podcast. I could go on and on about how much I hate them as an organization. But 2 out of 3, you still win the series. So you look back on it and you hope that loss on Monday doesn't come back to bite them in the ass. And then I think they played the Dodgers well. Dodgers are a good team. I was at the game Friday night, and the vibes in the stadium were good. It was a lot of fun with the Dodgers fans there. They came out in droves. And right off the bat, man, Let's Go Dodgers chants got overshadowed by the Let's Go
Got
Mariners fans.
shot
And
down. That's good.
yeah, they
That's
got
good.
shut down. But it was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty even. It was pretty even, but you got to give the Dodgers fans their flowers because it is Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't want to make stereotypes, but most Hispanic people are Dodgers fans. That's just facts, man. I'm just stating facts. Um, but it was good. It was so much fun interacting with the Dodgers fans. They were all really, really good sports, fun to hang out with. And maybe it would have been a different situation if the Dodgers were losing, but it was a lot of fun, and it was good to see that the Mariners were, for the most part, competitive against them.
A quick, not fully baseball question for you about the Friday game. Did you stick around for the drone show afterwards?
I didn't, man. I did. I wanted to. I wanted to. So here, let me explain myself because I know it's hurt. It hurts me to say no to you. Let me explain myself. Living in Portland right now, obviously, which is about 3 hours south of Seattle. Left my house at 7 a.m. Friday morning. Drove the 3 hours to Seattle. I was in the office all day in Seattle. Went to the game, and then had to drive back to Portland because Saturday I was driving from Portland to Lethbridge because I'm now on
Oh, you
tour.
drove up here.
Yeah. Because I got all my openers with me. I got my social media manager and videographer with me as well. So it was either take a carpool or buy 6 flights, and yeah, the carpool option won. And so we left early Saturday morning. So I had a hell of a long day. Had to drive back after the game to do a very long drive Saturday. So I
All
missed the
right,
drone show.
I'll
I
mask
missed the
my
drone show.
disappointment then.
I will say though, I don't think the drone show would compare to, and I got to give this dude his flowers, the guy that backhand caught Gino's home run Friday night. He
I
leaned
didn't even
over
see
the
the
dude.
catch.
You have to go and watch this highlight. It was absolutely insane. It was about 2 sections over from me, and like maybe one row back. Saw it in plain sight. It was unreal. Dude went over the rail, backhand, caught Gino's home run, and then crushed his beer like a fucking champion. It was
I love
insane.
a great fan catch. It's one of
Oh,
my favorite things when you're watching the game and you see a great catch, and then when the fans get in on it too and they start cheering. That's
oh
one of my
yeah,
favorite things in baseball.
dude. And they didn't let up. They didn't let up. So he caught it, crushed his beer. Everybody's going crazy because it's 1-0 at this point after like 4 scoreless innings with Miller and Kirby going back and forth. And then for this, everybody's hype, playoff implications, September baseball, sold out crowds because the Dodgers are in town. This dude makes this catch and then crushes his beer. People didn't let up, man. Half inning is over, and the fans were on this dude, and he crushed another beer in between
Oh
innings.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love when that happens too, and you're watching the game on TV and the crowd's just electric and you have no idea why.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I personally was more hyped about the catch than the home run. It was just impressive. I've always wanted to be that guy in that moment, just to show off my beer chugging prowess and my baseball hand skills. And I've never gotten the opportunity. I've come close. I've never gotten the opportunity, but that man made the most out of his opportunity. I'll tell you that.
He's just like you though. He was waiting for that moment his whole life. He was like, if this ever
Totally,
happens to me.
totally. So I take that over the drone show personally. That's
Um, while we're on the topic of the Friday show, last week's big story was the George Kirby comments after his game. So Friday, he kind of got to go back out there, maybe a little get some redemption, show that he does have a little fire, some competitiveness. Do you think that he showed that on Friday?
yeah, man. Watching that game, um, Kirby's a dog, man. Like, there's a reason he was drafted where he was drafted. There's a reason his numbers are where they're at. I think it had the opportunity to be a big deal, and I think the team, the organization, the player, and the coach handled it exactly
Mm-hmm.
how they had to. Mistakes happen. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
um, especially these guys constantly in the spotlight. Everything is under a microscope. And he admitted he made a mistake, and then I think he is the type of player that realizes in that situation, I fucked up. Now I got to go do something big for my team. Obviously, he didn't walk away with the win, but it threw a hell of a game. So I think it's a nothing situation at this point.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. And the thing that showed me that game that he was still competing is at the end of his outing, right? He had allowed 4 runs already, and you kind of knew that that last inning he was probably going to get pulled after that. Uh, against the Dodgers, got 4 runs allowed, and he fired a two-seamer that just touched the edge of the strike zone for a strikeout at the end of it. Like, he's still in there throwing his best pitches, and I think that's what shows that he's got it in him, that he's got that fire.
Yeah, and he's still a young guy. He's still learning. He hasn't been up that long. He's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. And he was facing a good team. They arguably have 2 MVP candidates on the Dodgers squad. Miller is pumping 100 on the mound. It's not an easy win, and you're going to run into good baseball teams and good players. And you take back maybe 1 or 2 pitches, and that ball game's entirely different. And that start is looking like an absolute gem instead of just a good start. The 2-run home run hurt, but Kirby's a dog, man. He's going to be all right. I don't want to bash him.
The way he ended his outing, he didn't really let it get to him, which is what
he made a mistake, but he's all right, man. He's going to be all right. I think.
Saturday's game. Should we jump into Saturday's game?
Yeah. So Saturday, I didn't get to watch Saturday's game, and of course, it was so good. It was such a good game for 12 innings. It's unfortunate, there is maybe some concern about them dropping these games late and not really being able to close it out. Again, good Dodgers team. Pitchers did everything they could. I didn't even watch the highlights, but it's my understanding that big Dodgers inning was a lot of duck farts, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of doinks, a lot of cheap hits. I could be wrong. Again, I didn't have a chance to watch the highlights. It was a 14-hour drive, so
I was a little in and out. It was my cousin's birthday on Saturday, so I had the game going on my phone, but yeah, it seemed like there wasn't too many like awful things, right? They kept competing. The only issue for me is that late inning runners on first and second didn't really do anything with it. Which once again, that happened earlier this week against the Angels. I think that's one of those things you almost got to quash it before it becomes a problem now. Not capitalizing on those little late inning rallies. You don't want that to come back and bite you in the ass, and right now could be a reason they miss playoffs if they do.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to look back when you're not successful, the what ifs. And, every team has those games. Every team could look back on the season and pick out, 4 or 5 games that they should have won and would have made all the difference in their standings, whether it's the division or the wild card. So, the Mariners are not special in that respect. I'm sure if we went through any single team's schedule, we would be able to pick out similar games. It's unfortunate, and you definitely want to squash it. And now's the time that you want to be hot, right? Obviously, they needed the August they had. They're not having the September necessarily to run away with it, But now's crunch time. 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks, and either you're going to play golf in October or you're going to be playing in front of an electric stadium, the Electric Factory, as a matter of fact.
And the nice thing about the week that just happened is the 3 teams we're competing with for these playoff spots, none of them really ran away with it either.
Nobody capitalized.
Texas probably had the best week, and they ended the weekend by getting swept. So we don't need to start sounding alarms. It's not the end of the world. Obviously, you still want to win, but we're still in the mix.
And the nice part is too, like we have a get right situation on our hands here, where Texas plays Boston. Boston's not the best team, but they're not incompetent. Houston's got to go and play Baltimore, and those guys are at like 93 wins.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, and the Mariners get the Athletics. So, like this, I think these first 3 games of this week are a get right situation. You have to, you never want to beg for a sweep, but you have to sweep the Athletics. We got Castillo. We got Wu, Castillo, and Kirby. 2 out of 3 just isn't going to cut it at this point of the year against a team like Oakland.
No, especially too when you got a series, you're going into Texas, you're going in to play Texas after playing the Athletics. You can go in, you can get a sweep, go into Texas hot, who might have some troubles. They're playing a tough team, so that is more than an ideal situation to be in.
Yeah, I think there's a very realistic possibility where, the Mariners might be in the division lead at the start of that second series this week. It's not an unrealistic ask. And if that's not the case, I can't see them being more than a game back by the time they play Texas this week. So here's hoping. Obviously, any given day of baseball. I mean, Oakland's a bad team, but they still have over 40 wins. So, you never know when you just run into a guy that's on and throws a gem, or, a hitter like Hoffy did last week where he hit two bombs and a double.
Well, and what
um,
always scares me with these uh lower teams and stuff is right now this is when they're starting to have pitchers coming up, just
mm,
random guys. And that's always kind of scary to me because we've never seen these guys before.
yeah, you don't have a whole lot of film on them. You can't sit and watch video. And honestly, man, like I think the Athletics knew that they weren't going to be anything this year, but I guarantee you every single player in that locker room wants to fuck up somebody else's season.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Like they're
I
not
think
going to roll over.
there's a blogger, Jeff Sullivan, Mariners blogger. He said it best a few years ago. Is playing spoiler is like eating garlic toast at a restaurant. You
Oh,
don't go to a restaurant for garlic toast, but it's still pretty good.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And you know it too. You know what that other team is playing for, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's just like the pro athlete mentality, right? Nobody's going in there not to compete, not to perform, not to win.
yeah.
Um,
That's a front office thing, is intentionally losing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're never going to hear the players do that shit. The people on the field are never going to do that shit. Front office guys are trying to protect their jobs and protect their livelihood. So it's different. It's
Yeah,
totally different.
you're never gonna hear an athletics player be like, I just really want to move to Vegas. This is I am planning to live on the strip, baby.
Oh my god! Could you imagine if a guy like Blackburn, he's got like I think a 4.14 ERA this year, is like, oh man, I can't wait to get to Vegas because that's a guy that's going to be on the roster, right? Like that's a guy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
even if he's the fifth starter or whatever, and they try and like win, which they're the Athletics, so they won't. But if they did, that's a guy that's still going to be around. And yeah, it's just a sad situation in Oakland with the whole Vegas situation. What a mess! But the AL West is a mess with the Angels and the Athletics right now.
Yeah, you've got three teams fighting for a playoff spot and two teams who are not necessarily historically bad, but a disaster.
Just a disaster of an
Yeah,
organization right
just
now. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Every year
Uh,
you have bad teams, but this doesn't happen often that there's just this much of a dumpster fire.
yeah, no, these two teams are something else, but fuck them. I want to discuss my boy. Obviously, my favorite player on the team with me playing catcher is Cal. I love Cal.
I am
Breaking
always down to discuss Cal Raleigh. There's
that's what I'm saying, man. Uh, Breaking the record for most home runs by a catcher. I'm pretty sure he passed Zanino for most extra base hits by a catcher. If not, he needs one. Um, I would have to go back and look at his stats, but he's right there. He'll get it. There's no doubt in my mind that he's got at least one more home run in him in 2 weeks. I feel like maybe he's had a long gap since his last one, and maybe he's pressing too hard, worrying about those personal accolades. I hope that's not the case. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
No,
Um,
he's definitely not. I think the big kind of worry for me anyway right now with him is he takes a beating out there. Like I think
yeah,
it was the one Angels game he got hit with three
man,
foul balls. He had Castillo throw on. It was a Castillo, I think it was, and then calls another pitch, like
next pitch.
two fouls. Yeah, two fouls were right off of him in a row.
Hey man, you gotta be tough to play catcher. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
and
a you
he
take a
is.
beating, dude.
And that was the game that afterwards during the interview, because he had the throw out, the walk off caught stealing, and the interviewer goes, "Why do I feel like I'm more excited about this than you?" I'm pretty tired right now.
I don't, I don't watch the post game, man, but it's just too busy of time for a year for me right now. But I get it. Like the last thing you want to do after getting your ass kicked and like putting out all that energy and effort is talk to the media. And I know I get it. That's part of it. They make so much money, and that's part of what they have to do. But yeah, you're stoked when you throw that runner out to end the game, and he's been doing it all year, man. His defense has been spectacular. But the last thing you want to do is talk to some dude that works for
Oh
the
yeah, and
local
this was
news
the
channel.
Wednesday, so this is the Wednesday. He's just played every game for the last two
Yeah,
weeks. He finally gets a day off, and he's like, honestly,
I'm
I'm just
tired.
pumped that I can sleep in tomorrow.
He gets to go home and have dinner with his family and not have to be at the stadium the next day. So he wants to go home. The last thing he wants to do is talk to the
Oh
media.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
He took a
so
shellacking over the last few weeks. He's like, I need a cold bath right now.
yeah. So my question to you then is, given the offensive numbers, and you maybe want to see the average a little bit higher. I think he's hitting like 233, which as a catcher is honestly not bad. And then
But you're
you
playing
add
good
his power,
defense.
like yeah, honestly, look at a guy like Yadier Molina. He was in the league so long, and he had good offensive seasons, but it's the defense. I remember Mike Matheny coming out and saying Yadier Molina is going to be my catcher, even if he hits 0.000. Like his defense is so much more valuable than the offense that you expect out of a catcher, and then to have Cal do what he's doing at the plate, switch hitter. Is it time to get ahead of the curve and try and work out an extension this offseason? He's under 2 years of service. They would be jumping the gun real quick. Catcher is a position that, is hard on the body and can wear you down pretty quickly. You look at a guy like Joe Mauer, it happened to him. Is it too soon to look at an extension?
I don't know if it's too soon. I think right now though they've got other areas, other guys that they kind of need to work on in the off season. I think it's one of those like, let's say they go into the off season, they get Teoscar re-signed right away. They can get him. They kind of work a trade, fill a gap. I think if they make a couple early moves, then they can start being like, hey, do we need to extend some guys? Because I think it would be a good idea to re-sign Raleigh. He seems like a guy that will be able to play catcher for a long time. I'm
Yeah, for
not.
me, like Raleigh, Kirby, Gilbert would be the guys to kind of get ahead of that, to beat the market and reduce their annual salary,
Well,
to
and that's
protect your
yeah.
cap, right?
And yeah,
Um,
they've got these guys are a lot of them are only going to get better and therefore only get more expensive. So maybe you
totally.
do want to get ahead of it and that way you don't get in a bidding war because the Mariners aren't going to win a lot of bidding wars.
No, and like they did it with Julio and they did it with Luis. Those contracts are nice, man. Those contracts that they're paying those two guys to do what they're doing is exactly what you want to do, and it's exactly what Atlanta did. Atlanta got
Mm-hmm.
ahead of the market and paid their guys. They paid Alvis and Acuna and Olson, and look what they're doing, man. Like that's a hell of a run organization right now. So I think you got to try and emulate that, and you're gonna have your few situations where you don't hit and they regress. But
Yeah,
I think you
your
got to look
Evan
at it.
White's using still staying in Seattle. That one didn't work
Yeah,
out. But on the other hand, they tried to do the same thing with Kelnick, and it didn't happen. But it might be looking like it's kind of working out for them as well. I feel like going once his contract kind of gets a little lower. Now all of a sudden, I feel like they have leverage. So there's times you
Kelnick's
don't
a toss
hit.
up. For me, I'm not resigning Teoscar, and that's not a knock on Teoscar's performance. Um, he's going to be relegated to a DH role here pretty soon. And it's looking like his ask is going to be in that Nick Castellanos range. I saw a report that his team is going to look for 100 million plus contract. You can't give a bat only
Mm,
guy that contract at this point. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
he's
don't
just
think I'd
you
be a big
can't pay
fan of that.
Teoscar $100 million, man.
No,
This is too
no, no.
much, and
I
it ties
fully
up too
agree.
much capital when your identity is your pitching staff. That money's got to
Yeah.
go towards the pitching staff, and then you platoon right field with a guy like Canzone or Demo or whatever the case may be. But it's too bad because I wanted him to stick around based off of his streaky season. I like Teoscar; he's a good energy guy, he's a good clubhouse guy. But 100 million, you just can't be reckless like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can go out and get another energy guy for that cost. And not
Yeah,
to
and it's not
mention,
like they're
even
lacking energy, guys. They
that's
got
exactly it.
Julio, they
You
got
still
Gino.
have, yeah, you still have JP Crawford in the clubhouse too.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not going to be a lot of negative energy if Teoscar walks.
No, no, I think he's probably gone, which is too bad. But let's see how much more we can squeeze out of that bat these last 2 weeks in the postseason. Don't get me wrong, Theo. We still need you to do good things for the squad here, and yeah, hopefully he continues hitting the way he's been hitting, because he's protecting Julio's bat in the lineup. I know we talked about this earlier on the walk-off Blue Jays long toss that we were blessed to be a part of earlier today. Um, but season's not done, and we still want to squeeze some
Yeah,
life out of that
still
bat yet.
still need a little life in there.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because like he actually rated not terribly defensively this year, which is surprising to me based off of what I watched. But metrics state that he's been a lot better than he has in past seasons. But yeah, he's just not a guy that you can go and pay $100 million to. It's just
Yeah,
not
you're
realistic.
still holding your breath when you see him run into a ball in the outfield.
Yeah, and I hope he gets his. I hope he gets paid. I like the guy. I hope he cashes in this offseason. Angels love to throw money around, so that would be the team to do it. Give that a terrible contract to. So here's hoping they make a mess of it, or even better yet, have him go to a team like Texas or Houston and just fuck it up, fuck it up for
Yeah,
them.
do it from the inside. Be the Mariner from the inside. Undercover agent.
Yeah. Let's switch to Julio. I got a couple Julio questions. I know you had some things to discuss about Julio. Uh, I don't know if anybody is discussing this or not when it comes to Julio, but there is this perception around players hitting in the home run derby and it negatively affecting their swing, which is very real in my opinion. Is Julio the first player to show up at the derby and then find his swing from it?
Yeah, it's because it is funny because there have been guys who went to the home run derby and afterwards you didn't feel like it really affected them that much. But with Julio, yeah, he went into the home run derby. He was not hitting well.
No,
You could even argue that if the All-Star game wasn't in Seattle, there's a
he
chance
wouldn't
he's
have been
not
there.
even there.
I almost
And then,
guarantee you he wouldn't have been there.
yeah,
He was
so
hitting
he
like
goes in
230,
there.
240 at the time, man.
Yeah, no, he wasn't looking like anything special. Has a phenomenal home run derby and then turns around and just starts tearing the cover off the ball. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah. And not only was he hot, like he was hot enough to be in the MVP conversation. That's a
Yeah,
different level of hot.
yeah, he's had like a historical run and all of this has been since he went into the home run derby. It's like because everyone's like, oh well, you change up your swing to hit home runs. He's like, I'm gonna keep this one. Actually, I kind of like it.
I hit pretty hard, so I hit the ball
Yeah,
hard
he was
and
like,
see
did
what
you see how
happens.
far that ball went? I'm gonna try that in a game.
41 home runs in a round, and then next thing you know, he's like MVP of the AL. It's
Yeah,
unreal, man. It's unreal.
yeah,
So,
definitely not something you see a lot. That's for sure.
I mean, for me, I love to see it personally. I hope it continues. Um, but we'll see what happens. The other thing
Yeah,
with Julio is I'll let you go ahead because it's monumental and it's something that deserves a lot of credit.
yeah. So right now, we've got two 30-30 seasons right now with Julio and Acuna. Something that's pretty rare. What was it, 33, 32 or something? That's
Uh,
happened in the history.
yeah,
Uh,
it's I think Julio is like the 44th player to. I hope
44.
it
Yeah,
was 44.
I knew it was something divisible by 11. That's I
Yeah,
knew that much.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
But
44, which is awesome because that's his number. I like that.
yeah, but now that we're seeing an increase of stolen bases, um, do you think in the next few years we're going to see multiple players get a 40-40 season?
Dude, it's not unrealistic because there's such a focus on power, and that's why the strikeout numbers are way up from what they used to be.
Yeah.
There's so much focus on power that you know it's not uncommon to see 30, 40 home runs from multiple people in the season. And then with like the new rules with the bases and whatnot, the stolen bases are way up this year. Acuna's over there looking like Ricky Henderson and Alex Rodriguez at the same
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. And like,
You know,
it's not just limited to Acuna and Julio, because you've still got Bobby Witt Jr. He could realistically put up a 40-40. Same goes for Ellie De La Cruz. He could be a 40-40 guy.
for sure. I'd also make the argument that Ozzy Alvis in Atlanta could do it.
Oh yeah.
Mookie Betts is definitely a 30-30 guy.
Yeah, another dark horse that I've been following. I love the guy is Jazz Chisholm Jr. If he finds a home, like starts swinging really hard, because he can
Yeah.
definitely steal 40 bases.
Oh, he's an athlete. Bo Bichette's another dude.
Yeah,
He can go 30-30 for sure.
This is totally we might even be able to have 3 people doing it in a season.
That'd be wild. And it's good for baseball, man. It's great for baseball.
Absolutely.
These young, exciting players. I mean, Acuna, Bichette, Julio, man. These guys are not a day over 25. Like it's crazy how athletic they are in all facets of the game. They always talk about the different tools. 5-tool player. We want a 5-tool player. We want a 5-tool player. These guys are the epitome of what a 5-tool player looks like.
And it amazes me too is that you've got these guys just absolute horses, and they're playing shortstop.
Right? Yeah,
like,
yeah, monsters. Ellie De La Cruz
stereotype is just and O'Neal Cruz too. Like
O'Neal Cruz, another one. Yeah, it's unfortunate that injury. Like,
guy.
Yeah, O'Neal Cruz could definitely be a 30-30 guy.
Yeah, even same with Tatis before he moved to the outfield. He is not built like a shortstop, but he played a really good shortstop.
It's crazy, man. The game of baseball is in a good place. Congratulations to Julio Rodriguez, 30-30 club. That's no small feat. I hope he has plenty more 30-30 seasons in him. And I will be surprised if he didn't, to be honest with you, which is a crazy thing to say. I would be surprised if Julio doesn't have multiple 30-30 seasons. Nuts.
Yeah. Right now, at this point in his career, it's almost like, what is the limit is what we're wondering right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like, people are intentionally walking them. Like, there was a situation in the Angels game where it obviously didn't work out for the Angels because they're the fucking Angels. But runner on first, they tie game, and they're like, we're going to put a runner in scoring position by walking Julio intentionally because fuck that, letting him beat us. And then, the guys behind him picked him up, right? They drove in the runs like they were supposed to. And chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. I love to see it.
Oh, yeah. You love to see the guy getting respect around the league. Not just respect. He's getting up to the point where people are scared of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's incredible. And dude, the pitches that he hits too. When you go back and look at like the meter,
extra innings.
It's crazy.
The Angels one where you tied in extra innings. That wasn't a good pitch to hit.
That ball's like 10 inches below the strike zone.
Yeah, that was an Ichiro Suzuki swing. That's the stuff that he would hit for singles back in the day.
A Vladimir Guerrero Sr. home run right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, I have like terrible memories of playing the video games and trying to pitch around Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah, well, you can't.
He was the most difficult boss in video games. Yeah, I'm like, I just gave up on it. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk you.
It's crazy, man. We got 5 minutes left. I definitely want to touch on 2 more topics. I know we're probably on the same page with this one, but Munoz back on track, got his rest. What do you think?
I think so. I think, well, last week when he was struggling, we were talking, he had 3 days in a row he pitched.
Yeah, he was tired.
I think they kind of took it a little easier on him. He's starting to look good again.
Yeah.
So hopefully
love to see it. Love to lock down that 9th. Hopefully this is him the rest of the way. Last thing I want to just throw out there, because it was a monumental moment in my life. Friday night's game. Not a big first pitch guy. Don't really care. Friday night, Bill Nye, the motherfucking science guy. The entire stadium was chanting Bill, Bill, Bill. And it was dope, man. I loved every minute of it. So please, more.
It's nice that the Dodgers and the Mariners fans found something to agree on that.
Yeah, nobody's gonna hate on Bill. So we came together.
Bill Nye. Well, you probably have like one flat earther that's like giving him the finger or something.
Oh yeah, global warming isn't real, guy. That's like, who the hell is this loser? Yeah. Last thing I want to touch before I let you jump in, Marineros, Hispanic Heritage Month. It was dope Friday with the Dodgers there, and plenty of Hispanic flair in the stadium. It was great to see, and hopefully that type thing continues. It's all yours. Take us home, man.
All right, so there's a video on the off day that came out of Logan Gilbert and Cal Raleigh making deep dish pizzas together at a restaurant. It was absolutely hilarious. All Cal Raleigh did was just trash Logan Gilbert's pizza the whole time. But I got a question for you because this kind of made me think. If you got to pick one Mariner to hang out with and do one non-baseball activity with, who are you going and what are you guys doing?
Oh, me and Cal are going to the buffet and crushing beers, dude. I wanna see who can eat more, me or Cal. And I know it's Cal because he's a pro athlete right now, and he probably eats a dump truck, like his ass size worth of food. And crush beer. He seems like a beer guy. I'm a beer guy. Obviously, I had the beer stuff back in the day when I was back home in Calgary. I want to go drink beers and go to a Chinese buffet with Cal Raleigh. What about you?
So I was thinking there was two that came to mind. One, I would love to go to the zoo with Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You just
I
feel
just
like
feel
he'd
he would be
so
so
innocent.
excited.
Yeah, but like I feel like he'd also be like pointing out animals and getting them wrong.
Yeah, that's a leopard, bro. That's a bear. What are you talking about?
Yeah. The other one was also Cal Raleigh, but I bet that dude is a great guy to go fishing with.
Totally. And then that's like it's a beer activity.
Yeah.
You want to do a beer activity with Cal?
Yeah. There's
I
no
support
other
it.
choice.
I support it. Yeah. Bigger dumper of the week, Cal Raleigh or my dog Blue.
What
We'll
kind
put a
of dog
picture
is your
right
dog,
here.
Blue?
Yeah, here's the thing. I meant to send you a picture before. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm sending this to you right now. There you are, Sexy Jordy. Oh my God, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
This
Oh
is
God,
via
we're gonna have to
text or
wrap this up.
Facebook.
Text. Sent. They're gonna come through. He's beautiful, and he's got Max Scherzer eyes. He's got a brown eye and a blue eye. So I call him Timothy Max Scherzer Blue.
I'm not getting it.
Oh shit.
Oh, here we go.
60
Oh,
seconds.
that is a dumper. That is a dumper on that dog.
Blue's got a
I still
dumper,
got to
bro.
go with Cal. I still got to go with Cal, but that's a tight race.
That's it. We're going Cal.
It was
Cal.
closer than I thought it would be.
I like it. Yeah, Blue got a dumpy, bro. That's it. Let's hope for a better week this week. We got the Athletics and Rangers. Go M's.
Let's hope for at least four wins. I want.
Yeah, I'll take 5. I need 5. That means we win. That means we sweep the Athletics and we win the series against the Rangers. 5 wins this week. We need it. Let's go, baby. Walk off Mariners edition. I'm Juan. I'm joined by my homie.
Oh, you want me? I thought you were just gonna take it. All right, Jordy bot. That's all for me. You can close it out. I'll let you.
All right, M's Nation. See us rise. We'll see you next week.
All right, there we go. That was a good one.
Beauty. I loved it. I think we're gonna get real good at this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna airdrop it right now to my video editor. She's literally